To be perfectly honest with you, I feel as if I've been groomed for this my entire life. Because at a very young age, I was in a small town. I grew up in a small town, Kingston, in New York. And my father was a developer there. So he was kind of a little bit bigger fish in a very small pond. And so I started working in banking when I was 15. So then when it was time for me to go to college, I decided to study business finance because I liked banking. So I think it's something that I've always been doing. And then I worked in the banks. I had babies. I got divorced. I needed to earn more money than I did in the banks. So I became a stockbroker. As a stockbroker, I fell into what was called non-dollar denominated bonds, which were simply bonds that were issued in different currencies. And so that's what led me in 87 to the currency markets. And I am definitely an artist. I consider myself an artist. And what I see are patterns. And so when you start studying currencies and then it expanded to currency life cycles, you start seeing all of the patterns, the repeatable patterns that happen historically over and over and over again. But, I'm also an antiquer and have been pretty much my whole life. My uncle was a major dealer back east. And so he taught me the ebb and flow of the tangibles market. And in 1964, I was 10 at that time. I was born in 54. But we were at his home. My parents and I were at his home, and he took us into the back bedroom, and there were 2 huge floor safes there. And I heard him say to my parents, if anything should happen to me, Aunt Bertie would be well taken care of for the rest of her life. And so naturally I turned around to look, and he had the doors open, and because he was an antique dealer of very high-end antiques, these 2 safes were stuffed with gold coins. Now, the full impact of that really, I was 10. What did I really know about it? But it made an impression on me. It wasn't until many years later that I realized that in 1964, it was actually illegal to hold more than 5 ounces of gold, except in the way that my uncle were holding them, because those were all pre-33s. So that was perfectly legal for him to do. But when you put the 2 of those together, studying currencies and knowing that gold was the key currency metal, you kind of put that all together. And as I was watching the decline in the purchasing price and watching different technical patterns evolve with currencies pegged to each other, so having to travel the same path, have the same make the same economic choices, even though 2 different economies, and understanding how over time every fiat currency, which is a government-backed currency, every single one has failed, but gold, the real currency, has withstood. I knew when we entered the final phase of the U.S. dollars, and actually this is true globally because the U.S. dollar is still officially the world reserve currency. I don't really have, it's not what I would call a preference, but I am I'm a very strategic person, right? And so when you're studying currencies and you're studying currency life cycles and you see how that wealth transfers, that helps you understand how you need to be positioned. So for me, silver is about barterability. And that's what I would take to put gas in my car or go to the grocery store. And gold is about wealth preservation and also about the ability to take advantage of opportunities because you can hold a lot more wealth in a smaller package. So for example, I might need a room full of silver to buy a building, whereas I might just need 1 coin to buy that same building. It's much easier to transact. So I can't say that I have a preference. I own both, but I also own both for different reasons. And even within those two different categories, gold and silver, there are different kinds that perform different functions. And it isn't that you can't do everything with one. It's just that, well, here's a good example. If I can guarantee you that over the years, I have probably used the heel of my shoe to hang a picture. But it is much easier to hang that picture if I have a proper hammer. So, you can perform a lot of the activities, wealth preservation as well as barterability with either one, gold or silver. It's just that you want to make sure that you have the right tool for the right job, because it makes the job that you're trying to accomplish a whole lot easier. Since the central banks have done such a good job on floating these markets, then people are calmer. So this is, and I've been talking about, we're kind of in the eye of the storm. The first part is the medical part, and that has not changed yet, right? They do not have some kind of pill that you can take to help you get over the coronavirus. They watch it morphing, they watch it impacting different things. So we're not done with that piece yet. But the next shoe to drop is the financial part, where we're actually going to see the bankruptcies. I mean, we just got another labor report, and we now have more than 40 million people that are out of work. And a lot of them are probably permanently out of work. So we have that shoe yet to drop. Additionally, and I just love it. I mean, I really do just love it. It's like insanity, but if you're not paying attention, you're not going to understand it. But you've got the markets where you have, corporate owners that are, or CEOs, et cetera, that are not able to give any guidance, because nobody really knows what their earnings are going to be. So now you have the stock markets reaching new highs, and you go, well, that doesn't make any sense considering you've got over 40 million people unemployed, but you're just kind of buying them without understanding any level of valuation, though frankly, that's almost been true since 2008, when the central banks took control to manage these markets. And they haven't done, as far as nominal, going up nominally, maybe you think they've done a great job. But in reality, they've just jeopardized people a whole lot more.